I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Yes, hello. You are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Hello, all. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I was home. I was finally feeling better. It took a while, but I was finally feeling better. I thought about hanging out at home, but then I completely changed my mind. And you know what I did? I went out and I adopted a new cat. I swear to God. I wasn't necessarily planning on a cat. I actually went to go look at a dog. I think it's time to have a dog back in my life. I would love to do that. But the dog, oh, hold on. Hi, Nancy. The dog that I was looking at turns out wasn't going to be good with cats. And they happened to have, and I knew this going in. Hi, Dave. I knew this going in, that they had a cat in the shelter named Darth Vader. And he was a senior cat, and seniors are always harder to adopt. So he was kind of like, I'm either going to leave with the dog and the cat or both. Well, they don't adopt dogs and cats at the same time. Hey, Chris. They don't adopt dogs and cats at the same time. I decided not to get the dog and the cat. Vader, the first thing he did when I opened up his cage and started petting him was kissing my hand. So that was actually a no-brainer. And Darth Vader came home with me, and he's already running around the house. I decided to try something a little different this time. Instead of isolating him for a couple of different reasons, I decided, and he's already fitting in. He's a total lap cat. If I'm on the couch, he's on the couch. He's a total lap cat. General Zod's being a little General Zod-like, which is not surprising, but everybody else seems to be really chill with him. So I'm really excited. And if we're really lucky, he'll wander in tonight. He likes to be where I am. So he might wander in before the show's over, and I will pick him up and get him to say hello. So what else is going on? Oh, yeah, I know. And I didn't even have to change it. And he's completely black. He's a black cat, which makes him harder to adopt. He's a senior, which makes him harder to adopt. And he's the first time I have adopted an animal and haven't had to change their name. So I'm really excited. And of course, on the way home, I played the Imperial March. The girl that brought him out in the little cardboard box for me, when she was prepping him, she walked past me going, dun, 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 dun. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And he's a great guy. Only known him for a couple of days, and I already think he's absolutely fantastic. So I hope he does decide to. And he's mouthy. He's definitely mouthy. Oh, thanks, Dave. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I'll have to post some more pictures. I'll post some on my podcast pages. Absolutely, he's absolutely fantastic. I love him so much already. Like I said, was not planning on getting another cat, but how could you resist? And honestly, it went perfectly because I had just filled out the initial paperwork, and I was waiting for them to process everything. And one of the volunteers came out and they said, "You're taking Darth Vader, right?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, these two girls were here for him." I'm like, "Nope, he is mine. He's going home in a car with the license plate that says Sith Lady." No doubts. So I've decided, I have not watched Lower Decks yet. I think what I may end up doing, I've got so much else to catch up on, current TV and things, which I'm absolutely loving. I've got so much to catch up on. I think what I'm going to do is, once Lower Decks is done for the season, which is their last season, I think I'm going to binge watch Lower Decks and then just do an entire Lower Decks episode, at least one. So no Lower Decks talk until the end of the season. And that means no spoilers, guys. I'll try and avoid them as much as I can. But that's the deal with Lower Decks. Let's see what else is going on. I did. This isn't Vader. This is Trip. Had Trip for a while. He's a total love bug too. When he walks and when he stops being an invisible cat, maybe you'll get a peek at him. So that's the deal with Lower Decks. I did watch the Decon Chamber. I watched today because I had to run errands yesterday too. And listen, I love the guys. But watching them live on a Sunday kind of, that means all the errands end up like later in the day. And I really just kind of wanted to get some stuff out of the way. So I did watch the Decon Chamber today. Michael Westmore, new stories, absolutely fantastic. And they name dropped Wesley and Kathy. I have been dying for those guys to meet Wesley and Kathy. In fact, you know what's really funny is I talked to Connor about them at the Hollywood show, and he didn't say, oh yeah, we talked to them in Chicago. But he name dropped Wesley and Kathy, and they started talking about all the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff, which I absolutely love. Sigmund and the Sea Monster, Johnny Whitaker, love Johnny Whitaker. He's been everywhere. If you don't know him from Sigmund and the Sea Monster, or if you've ever caught Family Affair, which is the story of an uncle that adopts his orphaned nieces and nephew. It's his older, he's got an older niece and then twins, Buffy and Jody, and Johnny Whitaker plays Jody. Yes, Chris, it absolutely was a great episode. I actually texted Wesley. I'm like, you got name drop on the Decon Chamber. Because I was so excited that they mentioned Wesley and Kathy and that they were giving Michael Westmore his best. So I thought that was pretty. Hey, Casbar, how are you? How are things down under? Glad to see you. So that was the Decon Chamber. I was more excited about the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff than all the really cool Star Trek stories, because it's new and unique. And like I said, I've been dying for Connor and Dominic to meet. Well, Connor anyway. I didn't know about Dominic, but I was dying for Connor after he said how much he liked Land of the Lost. I was dying for him to meet them. So I'm glad I wasn't there because it was Chicago and I couldn't go. But that was pretty cool. So I really did like the episode. I listened to the Michael Dorn, Michelle. Why am I blanking on her last name? Hurd. The Michelle Hurd episode. I actually listened to it at 12:30 in the morning, driving to the airport from Palm Springs, because to drive from Palm Springs to LAX is just about 2 hours. So I tried to listen to it the day that it aired. I tried to listen to it on the drive out, and for some reason, I couldn't get the audio to play through the car. But magically, somehow, without me doing anything new or different, it worked at 12:30 in the morning. So I had them keeping me company on my drive to the airport, which was pretty cool. And it was worth it. I mean, I was thinking about leaving Palm Springs early, but the fact that I didn't meant that I got to go to Idlewild, which is about an hour outside of Palm Springs. And that was on John Billingsley's suggestion. When they found out that I was staying in Palm Springs, everybody was giving me really cool suggestions on what to do when I was there. So I still have the Frakes, Swink, and Shimmerman episode to watch. So I'm still missing an episode, but I will hopefully try and get to that at some point this week. Chris, I owe you something. It is sitting right here on my desk. This is for Chris. I need to pop it in an envelope, and I'm going to do that tomorrow, and it is going to be on its way to you, and I'm sure you will get it before you head down to Dallas. But John Billingsley signed this for Chris, and since it is the one of the very few times that the entire cast was together was the Porthos funeral dream from Night in Sickbay. And John says it was his idea. If you ask Anthony Montgomery, Anthony might say it's his idea, but whosever idea it was, get the entire cast shot in a photo was freaking awesome, especially since they're all out of uniform, out of makeup. Fox isn't in makeup, right? Oh, no, he is. That's so cool. Phlox is in makeup, but in a human suit. And it's so cool. So, Chris, I promise I will pop this in the mail to you so you can have it, so you can show it to Connor and Dominic and get it autographed in Dallas. Because I believe that was the plan that I talked you into. And listen, Linda Park every now and then does do a convention. So if Linda pops up anywhere, maybe one, or either I'll see her or you'll see her, because I met her once, and she was signing for Creation, which meant sign this and then go back and and then leave. So that's kind of going to roll into the Hollywood show in a second. Star Trek New Jersey is this weekend. I can't wait. I completely fucked up though. Right now I don't have a room. Completely fucked it up today. Not going to go into details, but I will say this. Expedia is awesome. You can afterpay on Expedia, which is also awesome. Afterpay customer service sucks. Afterpay customer service sucks. And right now, I am sitting here without a room. But everybody, keep a good thought in your head, and then I will be able to fix it tomorrow. Just please keep it, because I really don't want to drive up and down the turnpike. It's about half the price, I think, give or take, between gas and tolls, maybe a little more to drive up. So, I mean, it would technically save money, won't save wear and tear on the car. And I was talking to my mom about it today. If I drive up, stay, and drive home, that's one trip. That's 2 trips, one up, one back. If I have to do commuting, that's 4 extra trips. That's, God forbid, 4 extra times that I'm going to be driving on the craziness of the Jersey Turnpike. I remember that one of the first times I drove up the New Jersey Turnpike, the first time I ever drove past Newark International Airport, those planes come in so close, I swear to God, you'd feel like the planes are going to land on your car. By the way, Casbar, you're here. I have a friend that lives in Sydney that has yet to join me live, so you get Uber points, and I'm going to rub that into his face. You get Uber points for joining me, so I really appreciate that, because I keep telling him he needs to pop into the show. So that about catch up. See, I've got everybody but Vader, because the general is in the house. I'm going to see General Martok this weekend, but every day is a general's day in my house because I've got General Zod. So, and you know what? Naming an orange cat General Zod was probably a really good idea, because he is spicy, except to me. He loves me 99% of the time. Lasso! Hello, my Lasso. I hope you're well. I'm so glad to see you. All right, so on to talk of the Hollywood show. So the Hollywood show, and why I say, yes, General Meow, absolutely. Why I say that it's different is because we're so used to conventions having a million things going on. There's displays, and there's panels, and there's 1,200 different things that you want to do, and you're never going to get to do all of them. A show like the Hollywood show, which is an autograph show, not a convention, means that it is literally just celebrities sitting around for 2 days signing. No panels. Professional photo ops, signing. That's it. 2 days. Which gives you ample opportunity to A, talk to people, because they're not really going anywhere unless they go on a lunch break. They're sitting at their tables. So it really gives you more of a chance to interact with them. And it's an autograph show. It's incredibly nostalgic. I'm really mad at myself. I didn't go say hi to Sandy Duncan or try to meet Sandy Duncan, and she was there. And I knew she was there because I was there on Friday, scoping things out, because John only did Saturday. So Friday, I actually went and met a friend, but I scoped it out. But what else? Before I left on Friday, I got to see Dominic, because he was actually the only one from Enterprise representing. Tracy Coco, who was in the thumbnail, surprise. Guess you're all surprised about that. Tracy Coco was there. So Dominic was on one end, Tracy was on the other, and then Connor and John were in the middle, and they were nowhere to be found because neither of them were able to make it on Friday. John was actually flying in. He is in. Be on the lookout for a JonBenet Ramsey 8-part miniseries exploring, because her murder is still unsolved. And he was in it. He played the neighbor. There was a neighbor that for 5 minutes was like a suspect. 5 seconds was a suspect. And that's who he plays. So that's one of his latest projects. He also was just in this past episode of Matlock, which I didn't know until my mom told me, because again, behind. So that means Nicole DeBoer was in the first one. Fast forward just a handful of episodes, and now John Billingsley's in it, which is fantastic. It's a great show. I don't like the original, but I love Kathy Bates. So definitely Matlock's definitely something you should put up. Jover! Hi! Oh my God, long time no see. Thanks for popping in. Okay, so the Hollywood show is incredibly nostalgic because they have people there from so many different genres, so many different eras. The highlight, there were a couple highlights. Obviously working with John, but then I got to meet Willie Tyler and Lester. If you don't know who Willie Tyler and Lester are, Google them. I met him on Friday, and what's really funny is I know who he is. But I've been watching reruns of Laugh-In because you can get it off of Amazon Prime. If don't anybody dare ask me what Laugh-In is. But anyway, so I've been watching reruns of Laugh-In, and I just caught some with him in it. So to be able to meet Willie Tyler, he is an African-American ventriloquist. He has worked with some incredible people. Just being on Laugh-In, he got to meet freaking John Wayne, the one and only John Wayne. But he's just this, and he has Lester with him. He has had the same. Lester has gone through growth spurts, but the Lester that everybody knows and loves, that ideation, it's the same dummy. He has never replaced him. It's so amazing. That was a really neat highlight. And I met, and I'm going to kick myself because I know her first name's Tracy, and I cannot remember her last name, so I'm going to look it up. And it should be on the tip of my tongue, and it's not, because I just watched her in 911 yesterday. Like I said, lots and lots of catching up. So let's do it this way. 911. She plays Hen's wife in 911. She was in the movie Rent. And it's driving me freaking crazy because I feel terrible that I can't remember her last name. Hopefully she should be in the top cast. Tracie Thoms. Thank you. Tracie Thoms. I met Tracie Thoms. She's absolutely fantastic. We had, my friend Emily was actually working with Tracy. She was Tracy's handler for the show. So I had a little bit of an in. But I got to talk to Tracy. She did an episode of Cold Case. The lead from Cold Case was there. John Billingsley did Cold Case. So there was a bunch of people there. Everybody see, that's the other thing that's cool about these shows is if the stars align right, then you get to have reunions with people that you've worked with. So and John doesn't normally, get to sit with Connor and Dominic because, he's working with Creation River. So he got to sit with Connor and Dominic. So we're all having these amazing conversations. Just hanging out. It was not as busy as we'd hoped, which is a little sad for the actors, but at least it was in Burbank. It was a commute. John only came in for the one day, and it was fun sitting with him. And I have to tell you, one of the first things I told him when I saw him was I said, he doesn't watch Lower Decks. He's not into cartoons. He's not watching Lower Decks. I said, oh, well, there's this character, Dr. Miglio, who's a bird, who's voiced by Paul F. Tompkins, who sounds suspiciously like you. The first time I saw it, I said I literally had to look up who was doing that voice because it was driving me driving me absolutely crazy because he sounded so much like you. I said, so Paul F. Tompkins, and he's a bird. And I always wonder, because he's a doctor and a bird, if it was based on your character, all the stories you were telling about the bird. He goes, oh, yeah. I said, but then I told him about how in the trailer for this season of Lower Decks, Dr. Miglio puffs up like Phlox did. And I said, come on. And John agreed. It's probably based on his stories because why else would Dr. Miglio puff up? Bird, sounds like John, isn't John, and puffs up. That's 3. I am seriously, one of these days I'm going to get on X and I'm going to ask Michael McMahon. I'm going to pose the question because I have to know for sure. Of course, he disappointed me about the pineapple because the pineapple in the captain's office is not technically an Enterprise reference. He said it's just there, but we'll see. We'll see about Miglio. So it was, like I said, I got the autograph for Chris. John loves spending time with his fans. So it was just fun to just sit and listen to him talk. To the fans, Tracy is always an absolute trip. Love talking to her. The promoter for Shore Leave showed up, so got to talk to Don a little bit, which is always good because that's networking. Got to meet, and this one's for you, Lasso. I got to meet Mackenzie Phillips. Did I talk to her about One Day at a Time? No, I did not, because everybody's talking to her about One Day at a Time. I talked to her about her guest star role on Caroline in the City, and she said she had a lot of fun doing it, and she got to sing. She said they wanted her to lip sync, but she sang. She's a fantastic singer. Look her up, her episode of Caroline in the City. First of all, Caroline in the City was adorable. I thought it was really cute. It was Leah Thompson and it was an Annie Pietz, who is going to be at Trek Long Island. Let's see, look at me weaving it all back to Star Trek. So that's a great show. Tracy is the best of who have the best time with her. You know what else is really cool is that one of her friends that was there, Eugene. Oh my God! See, now this one, okay, this one I'm gonna have to look up. I feel terrible. Wait, hold on. Maybe I don't have to look it up that way. Hold on. Everybody hold the phone, because I'm going to go look at something on the phone real quick and see if I can get this guy's full name. Eugene Bird. Ha. Eugene Bird. There we go. I'm following him on Instagram. I got to hang out with Connor and Dominic last Friday. I saw you posted something somewhere about that. Where were you guys that you got to hang out? That is so freaking awesome. Hanging out with those guys is always a fun trip. Eugene Bird, who is an actor, he's going to be on 911, but you might know him from Bones. He played Clark in Bones, and I loved Bones, David Boreanaz. Well, it turns out that Eugene is originally from the Philadelphia area, around basically where my dad grew up. So Eugene and I bonded over that. But what we really bonded over, and it's a mess now, it fell apart. This used to be a Delta sticker, but it sort of started to fall off. So he loved the Delta sticker on the back of the phone. So he was there just to hang with Tracy, but it was just so incredibly cool because we just so connected on the Philly thing and the Star Trek thing and Doctor Who. Because after the Hollywood show, Emily took me to this amazing party in LA at Madame Tussauds called Halloween Hotness, which is in support of St. Jude. So Rico Anderson, who is a upcoming guest on one of my episodes. Oh, Chris, that's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. Are you allowed to say which episode? Are you allowed to say what episode you went to? Or who was the guest? If you're not allowed to say, I totally respect that. But I'd love to know if you can give us a little sneaky peek. That's fine. I'm sure Dave and the guys won't mind. So go ahead. I won't. Anyway, Rico Anderson, who is going to be a guest on the show, was there. So it was nice to connect with him. Elias was there. Oh my God. See, this is me. Oh my God. I can't even think of his character's name from Strange New World. It was Locke, right? Locke. Yeah, Strange New World. Oh man. All right, I get it. Gotta keep a lid on it. Elias was there, chatted with him a minute. He's gonna be in New Jersey. But that was just really fun. Ray Wise was there to accept an award. We missed that because we were running a little late. Gotcha. Well, Dave and everybody will be good to know that, we put your feet to the fire and you stuck to it and you're not telling anybody. Ray Wise, who came over, who knew John. So they were chatting, and then I, of course, had to say hi to him because I loved him in Reaper, which was a show, I think it lasted like 2 seasons or something. It was adorable, and Ray said he had a really good time doing it. So I got to meet and talk to Ray. This was the funniest thing of the whole thing. There was literally a fake booth across from Tracy. So, just across the aisle. There was literally a film crew. They were literally filming a movie about a rock star who does these sorts of signing shows. So it was literally like a fake booth, and they were just filming this rock star because they do actually have musicians come to the Hollywood show. It was hysterical. And they had Ray did a quickie little cameo coming in pretending like, oh, it was funny. Literally watching them film a movie across this far away from us. It was really funny. So that's how Ray Wise came over, and I got to meet him and say hi. Got some pictures with him. Got my pictures with Tracy. Got my picture with Connor, which I didn't get in Las Vegas because he left on Sunday. Connor and Dominic are missing Jersey. I'm really sad that I am not going to get to see them, but that's okay because I'm going to get to see a bunch of other people that I love. Melissa Longo is going to be there. Got to see Melissa while I was out in LA, and now I'm going to get to see her again in Jersey. I love that all my favorite, Raymond Litzter's coming. All of my favorite people from Star Trek, or most of them. JG is going to be there. Robin Curtis is going to be there. Can you believe that? Plus, I knew someone who went and met her. Oh, I know. I wasn't in town for Chiller. That was my last weekend out in California. You know what though? She was wearing a mask for her photo ops. Total respect. But she was wearing a mask for her photo ops, which meant no selfies at the table. But I'm sorry. Hopefully she'll come back. You know who else was at Chiller while I was out in California? The Missing Facts of Life girls. For anybody that's watched the first few seasons of Facts of Life, there was more than just Blair, Natalie, Tootie, and Joe. There were a whole bunch of other girls, including Molly Ringwald was one of them. They all lived in a dorm, and they all kind of just disappeared when the girls got in trouble and ended up having to live, over the cafeteria. Because for anybody that remembers Facts of Life, the reason the girls were living where they did and with Mrs. Garrett is because they all got in trouble for something. I don't remember for what. They all got in trouble for something, and they got kicked out of the regular dorms, and they had to spend the rest of their time in living over the cafeteria and working for Mrs. Garrett. Oh, that's right. This is what I love about Lasso. So I'm talking to you about the one and only Molly Ringwald was one of the Missing Facts of Life girls. The other one was the girl from Alondria, which is an episode of Wonder Woman. And the girl from Alondria was supposed to be the new Drusilla. Had Wonder Woman gone on for more than 3 seasons, but that didn't happen. And snuck into a bar to compete on who would pick up a man. Is that what got them kicked out? Okay, see, I love you, Lasso. This is why you hang out. This is why I love it when you hang out. Cough is still lingering. All right. It's always the last thing to go, the cough. All right, so that's why they got kicked out, and then they had to spend the rest of their Eastman career working in the cafeteria. And so right before the show started, I ordered more pinwheels. They're supposed to arrive before I leave. Cross your fingers on that too, because I'm going to make more of these little peppermint package because Elias remembered the peppermints. Doug will remember Doug Jones is going to be there. Can't wait to see Dougie and so many other people. And it'll be nice that it's in my home state. Hopefully a lot of my friends from New York will come over. I'm trying to convince my friend who got me into conventions. I am trying to convince Evan that it's worth at least a day's drive up the turnpike to come to this. I don't know. I'll keep bugging him. I will absolutely keep bugging him. Chiller's a great show, too. And like I said, I was out. I decided I wasn't just going to go out for a couple of days because I am a travel agent and I had access to a certificate that allowed me to spend a week in Palm Springs for $200. So I went to Palm Springs for the week, had the most amazing time in Palm Springs. First day in Palm Springs, got to go meet Wesley Yore, had coffee, which was fantastic. He told me a couple of things I needed to do. Like Thursday night, there's always a street fair. So I definitely did the Thursday night street fair. Monday night was my first drag queen bingo. What did I do Wednesday? Wednesday, I think, was the day that they have a tram. You can go, it's like 6,000 feet above sea level. You go to the top of the mountain. That was gorgeous. Hey, Ed. Oh, I am so sorry that you missed the Hollywood show. It's so much fun. I wish you would have been able to make it to this one. I would have loved to have seen you. I don't know if I'm going to get anybody. I don't really have anybody else that I don't have any more clients. I'm out of clients for the Hollywood show. So Wednesday, it was Wednesday or Thursday. I went up the side of the mountain. There's like karaoke every night, but I saved that for Friday. Saturday, I went to Idlewild, which is about an hour west of Palm Springs. And 90% of that drive is up a mountain. which I was not aware of because nobody bothered to tell me. And I had a rental car that had flappy paddle gear shifts that I didn't realize until after, but it was very nice to have something I was down. I drive an automatic, but when you can make it a stick shift when you're going down those hills, I felt much better keeping it in a lower gear. Besides, I like shifting. If you gave me a clutch, I'd fuck it up. But if the car clutches for itself and it's just the shifting, I'm good. But that was beautiful. Being in the desert for the first time is beautiful. Palm Springs is gorgeous. If anybody's interested in Palm Springs, literally hit me up. I will talk to you about Palm Springs because it's fantastic. They're doing Gay Pride this weekend. There was leather Gay Pride. Now there's regular Gay Pride. One of my friends, Peter, who you might know from the Seventh Rule. Peter was actually out there when I was out there, but he was involved in a bunch of Pride stuff and we just didn't connect because I was sick. That was the other thing. I was taking it kind of easy for a lot of the time that I was out there. I stayed in this really great place. Like I said, it was right on. It can get chilly, but since it was only about 10, there was about 10 degrees difference between sea level and Idlewild. So it was still perfect to sit outside, eat homemade ice cream. Yes, Peter C. That's it, Peter C. We missed each other, but we were both in Palm Springs. There's this really great winery, and I fell in love with one of their whites, and it's not on their website. I couldn't take it home with me because I literally had no place for it, and I was trying really hard not to check a bag, and there's no way you're going to get a bottle of wine through security. So couldn't do it that way. Was going to order it online, send it to somebody, because honestly, to ship it was almost as much as the bottle. To ship it from there to New Jersey was going to be the bottle, and the shipping was going to be as much as the bottle. So, all right, I'll give the winery a plug. Hold on. It's Middle Ridge. It's Middle Ridge Winery. They're called Middle Ridge Winery. They're in Idlewild, California. They had this really great they called it Bodacious. It was a sweet white. It reminded me of a wine I can't get anymore from State College, because I don't know if the winery that I love in State College is even in existence anymore. They have two wineries actually, but this is the one that I went to. Like I said, homemade ice cream. I am dying to go back to Palm Springs. Can't wait to go back to Palm Springs. I'm going to time it better so that Wesley isn't leaving for Puerto Vallarta, because I got to see him for coffee and he said he would have shown me around, but they left for their winter in Palm Springs 2 days after I got there. So, but yeah, it's Idlewild's absolutely gorgeous. Like literally up in the mountains. Like I said, 6,000 feet above sea level. John didn't warn me about the mountain climbing, which I did tell him in an email, but it still worked out really well. So if there is ever an autograph show, like the Hollywood show is fantastic. If you ever want to have some fun in Burbank, I highly recommend the Hollywood show. They do it 3 times a year. October, February, and April. They always have Star Trek people. They always have current people, and then they always have people that are very nostalgic. I did talk to Ian Ziering a little bit, told him he has seen, by the way, Dave, Ian Ziering has seen the riff tracks of Sharknado. He likes them. I asked him if he's seen the riff tracks version, and he said he has. So yes, Ian has seen the riff tracks of his own movies. I had something to share with Ian about The Apprentice. I shared like half of it. This is the second time I've talked to him. He's really sweet. I loved Ian. Miss Tori Spelling, I was okay with that. Got to talk to Lisa Rinna, Days of Our Lives. Got to tell her how much I loved Billy. She was the original Billy. She's like, well, I was the original. I said, yes. And for me, you're the only Billy Reed. They recast it a couple of times. But Lisa and I have a mutual friend, Jackie Cox, the one and only Star Trek drag queen. She is the first drag queen I ever saw, first drag show I ever saw. So she has spoiled me for everybody else. Love Jackie. And Jackie is doing so much these days, including episodes of Days of Our Lives. She did what they call Beyond Salem, which are these little outside mini-series that they eventually weave into the plot of Days of Our Lives. She did Beyond Salem, and then she actually did a couple episodes of Days of Our Lives. for reals. In fact, I'm really far behind on days, but I was sitting at my computer. I had it on in the background. All of a sudden I heard a voice and I went, that's my girl. And I turned around and there she was. So Jackie and I talked about, or Lisa and I talked about Jackie very quickly. Should I have said hi to Harry Hamlin? Probably. But I just get in this mode. I don't leave my my clients sitting by themselves for too long. But it was quiet. So unless I was going to the bathroom or doing a green room run, I was pretty much sitting with John. But it's great because fans came up. This one fan drew pictures of all four of them, and she gave them to them as gifts, which was a really sweet. Other people just came up to talk to him about whatever, and like I said, he was talking about the new miniseries. I'm rewatching him in True Blood. I didn't know he was in as early as the second episode. So I've been rewatching him in True Blood, but now I have Matlock to look forward to. I know he's in Grotesquerie, which I really need to watch, and I haven't yet. So, but anyway, yeah, I highly recommend The Hollywood Show. Like I said, it's a 2-day event. I mean, honestly, and the nice thing about it is the Friday starts at 3:00. So that's kind of nice because, if you have to work, then you only, you can still work a half a day. And then Saturday, it's an all-day thing. But it's really great. Like I said, it's a perfect chance to get professional photo ops and spend time. There's no creation thing where they're just, like assembly line signing. It's all just open tables, and the tables are absolutely freaking everywhere. Oh, got to say hi to Bill Mooney again. Love Bill. Bill Mooney's fantastic. So I chatted with him and his wife for a little bit. I didn't make any notes, guys. I completely forgot. I completely phased on notes. So I'm sitting here doing all of this from memory, believe it or not. But I think that's it. Like I said, if you guys ever are going out to Burbank, definitely check out The Hollywood Show. It's definitely worth it. Let me know. I'll go with you. I love it. I love Luna. The one and only Barbara Luna works with David, who is the promoter of the show. And of course, Luna had a table, but Luna's fantastic. I adore her so much. And she's always great to see. So anyway, guys, that's it. I highly recommend The Hollywood Show. If you guys are coming to Star Trek New Jersey, which is this weekend in Secaucus, like I said, cross your fingers that I get this room thing situated. So I don't have to commute. Although I could listen to my Rat Pack CD all the way up. If you are coming, I still have some passes to Trek Long Island that I will be giving away. So if you are going to be in New Jersey, come to my booth, Transmissions from the NX 7062, and get yourselves a pass to Trek Long Island, which is just another fantastic event happening the end of May. I was trying to get through this without coughing again. Let's see. I'll get you the dates right now. It is May 30th, 31st, and June 1st. So come on out, and it is fab, Dave. So come on out and just tell them you heard it here. Say, I heard you had passes because I watched your show. You'll get a pass. That easy. Okay, guys, thank you as always for hanging out with me on a Monday night. I love hanging out with you guys. Voice is still holding out, but before I get into another coughing fit, which will happen, I can feel it. I'm almost gone, but next week I should be perfectly healthy and ready to talk to you about Star Trek New Jersey. Guys, but don't forget, there will be live broadcasts this weekend, of course. So you might not have to wait until next Monday to see me. How could I forget to mention that? Star Trek New Jersey this weekend. Set up the notifications so you'll know each and every time I go live. And guys, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a fantastic week. And until I see you again, live long and prosper.
Listening to the NX 70